if I go out there, you're gonna hear. So I'll give you guys a tour, but it might be loud. Hello everyone, how's it going? Over the next 2 days, we're going to be going on a little road trip up to some of the northern parts of Costa Rica because we have some family visiting from Canada. They're going to be here for a little bit, so we're going to go up there for a few days, hang out, catch up, and I'm bringing my surfboard in case we come across any surfable waves, but there's no guarantee we'll find good waves. But I'm sure it's going to be fun. We got to get going. We have a long, very long drive ahead of us. If they're working on the road or something, but all the cars in front of us are all parked. But I just noticed there is this little caterpillar type little thing that's been on the little mirror hanging out the entire drive. Must have come all the way from home. We're on this bumpy road, but for some reason my camera is fogging up a ton. I think it's inside the lens, but it's really foggy. But look, we're nearly at the house where our family is. We've been driving for a long time. 1 second, let me try to fix this. I'm gonna take the lens off. Just one moment. Ooh, a river. Oh, woohoo! We have made it to the spectacular. We made it! Yes. We've made it to the house that we've been searching for the past few hours. It's like right on the beach. Super nice. Wow. Okay, so now we are heading down onto the beach. So wow, guys, it is amazing here. I did not realize it was going to be so cool here. There's the house there. There's a bunch of trees that are super nice and look really fun to climb, which I'm definitely going to be climbing in a little. But then right in front, there's this water here, which isn't connected to the ocean, but it comes from the river, so this water is brackish, from what I heard. So it's a mixture of salt water as well as fresh water. But I heard that they saw some, I think you pronounce it caimans, or they're just like small alligators or small crocodiles last night swimming around here because they could see the reflection of their eyes. But we'll have to see about that. Maybe we can spot some at nighttime. That'd be pretty sick. Right now we are at the little water, hanging out in front, seeing if we spot any caiman. Last night apparently saw some eyes. See if we spot them today. So we came on this trip to visit some family because they were visiting Costa Rica. But the place, the name of this area that we're in right now is called Playa San Miguel, or just San Miguel. And then if you go, I think, south, you can get to Playa Coyote, and then if you go north, you get to Playa Bejuco. A few years ago, one of our dogs had puppies, and there was like 6 or 7 of them. Different people took different puppies because we weren't going to keep all 7 puppies, and one of them has one of them which is called Spotty, and he is pretty nearby to where we are right now, so we may just drive up there and stop by and say a quick hello, because it's been quite a while since we last saw him. So if we get a chance to do that, that'd be pretty cool. Last night there were a bunch of little like shrimp and little fish swimming around in the water. Not sure where they are today, but we saw some little eyes over in those bushes, and they looked like little caiman. The owner of this house said that there might be a little caiman around here, but they're not. They're so small that they shouldn't be dangerous to humans. We're going to be moving on to try to find a different house in a different town. Maybe we can find a surf spot later on, which would be wicked. But yesterday, really rainy, really stormy until sunset, where the sun kind of popped out for a little bit. Today, pretty nice skies, a little bit of cloudiness and overcastness, but that kind of makes for some nice shade. So far, good. Do you hear that? I'm not sure if you can hear that, but I have so much crazy stuff to talk about. So you remember I was saying we're going to visit Spot? Well, we got to see him. Super amazing, because when he was a puppy, I spent so much time with him, taking care of him, and it was so cool to get to see him after years, see how much he had grown up, and he already had a son of his own. It's pretty cool. But last night, while this was pitch black, the rest of our family, they're staying at a different house, which isn't where we are staying, where we stayed last night. But that house didn't have enough space for us to stay there. So we had to come stay at this hotel that's up here in the mountains. The wind makes me feel like I'm gonna fly off the mountain. It is absolutely insane. I'm not sure if you hear this noise in the background, but all that is are the branches and leaves going back and forth. Now, I know this is probably nothing compared to a hurricane and some things like that, but I have never seen wind that crazy. If I go out there, you're gonna hear so I'll give you guys a tour, but it might be loud. I've never stayed in a house or a room with a view this crazy. Whoa, that's scary. First of all, whoa! Got to be super careful about this cliff, because or else you go falling down the mountain. So be careful about that. But here it is. We'll come walking over to this side. Just look at how much wind there is. It's crazy. It's totally crazy. As you can see, totally insane. That's the ocean. Guys, there's a horse down there. There's a horse right there cruising around. This wind is gonna blow me off the mountain. Oh my gosh. Whoa. 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 Oh my gosh. Yeah, I get that we are on the tippy top of a mountain, but I had no idea that the wind was this strong. Whoa. Right now I'm indoors because outside it is just far too windy. Even though I have a wind guard, like a dead cat thing, the wind is just way too powerful. It completely overpowers it. Well, the name of the place that we're staying at is called Hotel Peace and Lodge, and I'm not sure how you decide that you're gonna build something like this all the way up here in the mountains, because we had to drive up a road where there's not too many other houses. There's a few here and there, but if you look around, there's not really like neighbors around here. You're pretty much all the way up here away from civilization. But the beach down that way towards the beach in this area is called Puerto Carrillo, and then if you go
that way along the beach, which I think would slightly kind of go north. That way you would find Samara, which is more well known. And if you go that way, you get to Punta Islita. I just moved my sheet and I noticed that there is this little caterpillar right here. And it looks like it could be poisonous, but I'm glad I didn't accidentally roll onto this little guy. Hello. Okay, so we left the little hotel spot that we were staying at last night, and we came over to the house that our friends are staying at. Like I said, we would have stayed here, but there wasn't enough space. But the view from here is insane. I will show it to you in just a moment, but wow, I can see the ocean, the mountains. It's not very often you see anything like this. So, check it out. Not very often see a crazy view like this. This right here is the house. Oh. Watch this. Said our goodbyes to everyone, that they're staying here for a few more days, but we have a long drive home ahead of us, so we're going to get an early start to it so that it's not just driving all the way home in the pitch black dark, because on back roads that could be a little sketchy. So it's the front of the house, super fun, glad I got to go for a little swim, insane amount of winds, and yeah, off to the next adventure. So just as we were leaving, I noticed this house right here, but it has this massive retaining wall that has been like designed into this wall full of different plants, but I've never seen anything like it because it actually looks really cool to look at. Normally retaining walls are just like this maybe big concrete wall just to hold the dirt, but this has actually been made into like some type of art, you could say. It's a work of art, but we got to keep going. We have a lot of mountains to descend, so we got to get going. And we are home, back from the 2-day road trip. A lot of hours in the car driving, but it was very fun, totally worth all the driving. You know, a lot of my family lives in either the States or in Canada, so I don't get to see them very often. So when I do get the chance to, gotta make the most of it. And, by the way, I did bring my surfboard on this little trip, but all the beaches that we passed by, the ocean was totally flat, so no surfable waves. But I guessed, on the bright side of the waves not being that good, is it forced me to spend more time hanging out with everyone, chatting and talking, whereas if there were like just great waves, I probably would have been out surfing. So I guess it kind of was a good thing the waves weren't the best. Anyways, today's positive quote is, "Life is the art of drawing without an eraser." What this quote means to me, one second, arm's getting a little tired, let me switch hands, there we go. What this quote means to me is, I feel the big difference between, life, the real world,
and either maybe drawing or filming something is when you're maybe drawing or writing, let's say writing something out, a story. If you write something, you're like, you know, I don't really like the sound of that. I'm just going to erase it, and then I'll rewrite it, or I'll just fix it. I'll scribble it out and fix it. In the real world, you can't do that. If you do something you wish you didn't do, there's no going back. And I feel that makes it so you try to make the best decision the first time. If you're put in a situation, you're like, whatever decision I make, I can't go back. Whereas if maybe you're writing something or trying to draw a picture, it's like, you know, if it doesn't come out the best, I can always redo it, and I can always just like erase it and draw it again. But in the real world, you can't always just go back in time. You can never go back in time and redo something. So it makes you really try to think hard and make the best decision the first time. So that's what that quote means to me. Remember to keep always doing awesome stuff, and I'll see you guys tomorrow early in the morning.